Are we ready?
We're ready.
We're ready. Now that he's done making fun of his mother. I thought that my lip looked better, but now that I'm looking at it, it's getting a little blue.
Yeah, it turned sideways to see the duck.
He's making fun of me.
Only because I know you're okay. I made sure you were okay first.
Yeah, that's what we do in my family.
Then we make fun.
First we make sure that you're okay. We'll do the tag second. We'll do our Wednesday thing first, since we're already started talking about something other than the tag. I didn't laugh at Jimmy when he went through right up the top of his head.
Well, no, you did it.
I didn't do it.
Yes, you did.
He was what? How old would you have been? 8 or 9? Danny was little. Christy wasn't born.
Christy wasn't born.
So Danny would have been about 4 or 5. You would have been about
No, I had
9
to be
10.
younger than, I think I was 6 or 7.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because that was the summer.
Because they had to get the social worker involved.
Yes, that was, yeah. That was the summer that Danny wanted to be potty trained. So he would have been 2, so you would have been 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we went up to the lake and Jimmy was a terror trying to potty train. It was like, he was almost 3.5 before we had him completely on the toilet because he didn't want to go in the toilet for some reason. Who knows? He was a march to his own drummer his whole life. But anyway, we had gone up to the cottage that summer, and Danny had turned 2 in April, and Holly had turned 2 in March. And Diane was potty training at the lake. When we were on vacation, she was trying to potty train Holly. And so she said, Diane said, well, aren't you? Diane is Holly's mother, my brother Pat's wife. And she says, well, when are you going to do Danny? And I said, oh my God, I'm going to wait till he's 3. Because Jimmy didn't learn till he was 3. I'm going to wait till he's 3 because I'm not going to go through the whole 1.5 years of that terror and all the messes and stuff like that. I'm just going to wait till I'm 3. So she said, well, I'm doing Holly now. They say girls are easier. And then one day Danny came in and he said, like a baby talk or whatever, but he says, I want to do that. And I said, okay. So I said, well, we're going to get you some training pants because they didn't have Huggies and stuff like that or pull-ups.
No.
So we went to Ben Franklin's, and I bought him a pack of. This is the same weekend. We had gone to the Ben Franklin's first to get the training pants. And training pants, for anybody that doesn't know, I hate to think that people aren't old enough to know that, but there might be people young that don't know. They're just like a really heavy-duty pair of underwear that you can still pee through.
Yeah.
That you still had to wear rubber pants.
I was going to say, you still had the rubber pants on.
Rubber pants. And rubber pants for stuff you put over the diaper to keep everything from getting wet. I don't even think they make rubber pants anymore.
I don't think they do.
Don't
well,
know.
They have to because they still do cloth diapers.
Oh, that's true. I never thought of that. But I've never seen rubber pants.
Have you ever looked for them?
I've never looked for them either.
Okay.
Anyway, we had picked up the training pants for Danny, and when we got back to the cottage, he went on the toilet, and before the vacation was over that week, we went and bought him big boy underwear because he never had an accident.
Nope.
Other than this guy, that was a constant accident. Constant. But we had gone in from the Ben Franklin's, we had gone into this little clothing store. I don't even remember the name of it. It was just like a really tiny little store.
I can bring you right to it, though.
Jimmy, yeah, it's right by the Swinging Bridge in Croswell.
Yep.
It's right around the block, block from it. But Jimmy kept running through the store, running, and it was just annoying. It was just annoying. And they were putting up a new display with the hooks with the socks. And he was running, and I grabbed hold of the hood of his jacket, his hoodie, and pulled him back because when all mothers do that. I know they say they're perfect mothers, but every mother's lost their temper at one time or another. And so I grabbed him to pull him, and then he yanked away, and with that, hit the thing and that scooped right up to the top of it. All the way up.
Yep.
Like up to here, almost to the top of his head. And he fell to the floor, and he grabbed his head, and he was crying, and I was so mad. I was just so mad. I said, oh, stop it. Get up. There's not a damn thing wrong with you. And so he stood up and let his hand go, and then we all know what the head wound.
Blood just looked like Carrie.
It was terrible. And then the the sales clerk come over, and she, oh my God, and so she grabbed a towel off one of the racks, and we're pushing down there, and she says, well, there's a doctor across the street. So I took Jimmy, we're holding his head, and we run across the street to the doctor's, and there's a sign on the door, out to lunch. So, because it's a small town. I mean, there's probably 100 people.
Even the dentist, didn't we try going to the dentist?
No, we went to the vet. We went to the vet.
Yeah, the vet, and they were out to lunch.
We went to the vet. The vet was at lunch with the doctor. So we went over to the fire department, which was a volunteer fire department. So Jimmy got to pull the siren to have them come.
Yep.
And so then they came with the ambulance, and then we had to go into Port Huron, which was probably 25 miles, I think, from Croswell.
Yeah, somewhere around
It was
there.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother was following behind in the car, and Denise was in the front seat of the ambulance, and I was in the back with Jimmy and the other firemen. And I heard the driver say, "Oh my God, do you see that nut behind me trying to keep up with me?" It was my mom who was trying to keep up with the ambulance. She was like,
I was just telling Samantha the story. Somebody was, I don't know how we got on talking about Grandma, but I can't for the life of me remember. We started talking about her, and the one memory of Grandma I remember, because I was telling her, I was like, she was a nut when she drove. Like,
she drove fast.
Like, you were,
yeah.
Like, I drive fast, and she made me look like I was going slow.
Remember the one time Danny says, "Wow, are we really going 90 miles an hour?"
And so I was telling her, I'm like, we were going across the Blue Water Bridge to go to Canada, and at the time, it was a 2-lane bridge. 1 lane going this way, 1 lane coming back. And I remember her just swearing up a storm, and everyone, I mean, they're going 55, so they were moving, and she's like, "This is ridiculous," and went into the oncoming lane and punched it. I'm like, "Grandma, you can't drive this lane," and it's just passed like 6-7 cars, and she's like, "There, now," I'm like, scaring the shit out of me.
She was bad. She was. She really was. But she never had a car accident.
No, I don't know how, but.
No. But when we got into the hospital, and they brought Jimmy into the room, and they wanted to know how he got hurt, and he told the nurse.
My mom pushed my head in there.
My mom pushed me into the rack. So then they separated us, and social services came, and they talked to Jimmy, and they talked to me, and then I told them to call the store because there would be witnesses. So they called the store. So that was all resolved. And so then we left, and we were going to Big Boys, which around someplace it's called Bob's Big Boys, but here it's just called Elias Brothers Big Boys. And so he was sitting at the counter, and we were going to get him an ice cream. I don't know why we were rewarding him for being so bad, but we were going to get him an ice cream.
That's a bonus right there.
Yeah. And the waitress come over and said, "Oh my gosh, what happened to you, sweetie?" My mom pushed me in the rack. It's like, oh.
Oh, fun times.
Yes.
Picture being able to go on a time machine and like go back there, but not like be yourself, but watch it all happen.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know that I'd want to watch that happen again. It was like I just couldn't believe it. We had so many adventures with Jimmy growing up. We really did.
I don't remember a lot of them. I'm sure there were a ton of them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Well, Christy sent me a video the other day of some guy in a motorized shopping cart that took off and almost ran somebody over. I ran David over at Disney World one time, and I never heard the end of it because that was before I had my knee surgery. And they all liked that I rented the thing because the first day I just limped around the park and nobody complained, but I mean, I know I was holding everybody up. And then that night Jim said, tomorrow we should probably rent one of those things because they weren't that much. I think they were $20 to rent, and you could bring them from park to park. So I mean, you didn't have to. It wasn't like you went into one part of the park, like Epcot, and then if you went to the Magic Kingdom, you didn't have to get a note. You just showed them that you had rented at the other place. But then they loved it because that put you to the front of the line because we were handicapped. So they would all want to get in the ride. Come on, Mom, we're going to go over here to Space Mountain because we need you to get in line because we need the handicap thing. That was the only thing.
And we already had the Fast Pass too, but that just made it even quicker.
Yeah, but the Fast Pass was like, I think that's a ripoff because it's not really a Fast Pass.
No, you schedule it. I mean, it's nice because you schedule the time and at least you know, hey,
but then you still got to go back and wait in line. Just because your thing was at 1 o'clock, you still got to
wait. I think I went on one ride there.
What was the Tower of Terror?
Yeah, that Danny and Dad did that because I was like, no.
They went on that one.
I went on the Aerosmith roller coaster that Danny told me was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Didn't know it's in pitch black.
It
Like
was-
when you start out, it's in the dark. I'm like, this is not cool.
Yeah, it's like in the dark and birds. Oh, tell me about, was it you that told me about with David?
Oh.
Jimmy
Yeah.
doesn't like birds.
You guys are
His
gonna-
mother has all kinds of birds everywhere.
You're going to love this one. So the other day, I show up to work at about 6. Well, no, it was actually like 5:30 in the morning. So it's still dark. And usually I wear tennis shoes to work. And then when I get to work, I change into my work boots. So I keep my work boots in the back seat. So I get out of my car, open the back door, I start putting my boots on, and I hear. And I look around like, what the hell is that? And I don't see anything. So I start putting my boots on again. Well, I hear it like 3 or 4 more times, and David was working with me. So as I close the door, I hear, and I look up, and David is almost crying because
David's
he's
his son.
laughing.
David's his son.
And I go, what is that noise? And he goes, turn around. And I turned around, and there were a dozen geese that all laid their eggs just sitting there like 3 feet from me, just puffed up. I ran into my truck and moved. I was like, I am not staying here.
Geese are the worst. They're mean.
Yeah.
They are mean. You go for a walk and there's a goose coming, you better get out of the way because that goose is not going to let you pass.
No.
I remember that.
Well, they're not mean actually on the golf course, believe it or not.
Really?
They kind of move away. Yeah, when you start walking.
They
all
probably got
just-
hit with a couple golf
Oh,
balls.
I guarantee you they got
They
hit.
probably figured that much. But
Oh, yeah.
anyway,
Another fun adventure is there.
there's so many with you. One time I went to town with my mother and we left Denise to babysit and Dad.
Oh, that was my. I forgot all about that. Chasing me around the house.
She had a giant, like not just a normal fly swatter.
It was called a Texas fly
a
swatter.
Texas fly swatter.
And it was like this big.
It was huge.
And
Jimmy-
she must have said something like, do this. And I'm like, no. And so she's like, you're going to do that. I'm like, no, I'm not. So she started chasing me around the entire cottage,
Yes.
like outside, everything. I'm like, you're not going to catch me. Why are you even trying?
And we
Which
pull
was
up.
making her even
Yeah,
more
and we
mad.
pull up and here she is with this big fly swatter whacking and whacking, trying to hit him with it.
I just wanted to do my own thing.
And then the one time I heard Danny out crying, he was, Mom, Mom, Mom. And I thought, what is going on? I go out there, numbnuts here, I tied him to the fence. Upside down. It's like,
He didn't mind.
no, he did mind. He was like, I don't know how he even convinced him to stand still long enough for you. How he even got you to do it upside down.
Danny was very, like, trust me, Dan. I know what I'm doing. And he's like, okay,
He was very gullible. Danny was very gullible. I'll give him that.
He would have did anything.
Because he admired his big brother, and he never thought his big brother would get him in trouble or do anything.
I never
to hurt
got him in trouble.
I'm sure that some of his
No.
anecdotes and things that he got in trouble for, you probably suggested.
Nope. I have never got him in trouble. I may have done things to him, but I've never got him in trouble.
I don't know. Let me tell you, it was with the two of them. More so this one. He was always into something. I don't know.
Oh, and I think David took a little long to get there, but I think he's finally like 10-year-old Jimmy.
No. Jeez.
I go, what are you doing? This was yesterday. I go, what are you doing? He's like, I was driving home and I found a lawnmower in the garbage. So I picked it up and threw it in the back of my truck. I think I'm going to try and fix it. I go, I used to do that when I was little with my wagon.
That's true. Well, David had a friend that wanted to get his lawn cut, and the lawn was so long that him and his friend did it, and they had to use a weed whacker first before the lawnmower could
Right.
cut the grass. And the guy paid them $90, and they were there maybe an hour, if that, cutting the grass. And he
I
got
would have
45.
looked at it for $90. I'd have been, okay, is that for the first half?
No, they did all of the lawn. So I told David, I said, you probably should invest in a lawnmower because he's always looking for side jobs. I'll give that to
Right.
David. He's
Yeah,
always looking for
he
a
is.
side job. And I said, you should buy a lawnmower, a cheap lawnmower, and then just have a lawn service because there's so many people. I said, maybe you can get your Uncle Dan. Danny said, no, there's no way because he pays $30. Danny probably, how much land do you think his property's on? It's got to be close to a half an acre. Don't you think?
No, I think it might be more than that. It might be 3/4 of an acre. It's not an acre, but it's
It's big.
not a small
It's
lot.
a lot. And he's got somebody that's going to cut the front and back grass for $30. There ain't no way in hell David's going to cut that grass for $30.
No,
Because
no.
then you got to do a lot of trimming because he's got the pool and he's got the trampoline. And
Yep.
He's got some trees. He's got his fire pit back there. He's got his patio.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. I can't believe he's got it for $30.
I don't know what this guy.
I don't know. Danny doesn't spend his money. I mean, I was never good with money. I never was good with money. But some things I wouldn't have a problem spending money, like, I don't know, can't think of anything offhand, but Danny he pays for the service to have the groceries delivered. Not
Yeah.
even picked up, delivered.
Does he still have his house clean?
He still has his house clean. He has somebody come clean the house. Well, they both work, so, but.
Yeah.
Well, still, they pay to get the house clean. They hit the lawn service. I'm trying to think what else he pays for.
The grocery. We
already did the groceries, but I'm thinking. I told him. I said, "Pay me. I'll do your grocery shopping."
Right.
I won't cut his lawn though. I wouldn't do that. But so anyway, that's about all we got to talk about today, other than me getting hurt, looking like a duck.
Yep. It's looking better today.
No, yeah, I say it's looking better. He says no. Christy, I sent Christy a picture. She says no, and then when Jim got up this morning, he says, "Oh my gosh, your lip looks terrible." And I go, "It's actually feeling better." But I just was more concerned about losing my teeth. I don't have that many teeth on the top, and I don't want to lose them because Jimmy knows with losing teeth.
Yeah, that's
Yes, because
a bummer.
Jimmy's mother paid lots and lots and lots of money
money
for him to have braces, and then not less than a week after.
That was Kevin's fault, though. He hit me with the flashlight.
Yeah, knocked his teeth out. Could have strangled him. See, we shouldn't call this Jamming with Jimmy. We should call this The Adventures of Living with Jimmy.
Oh, we can do that because I can come up with some.
We have a lot to tell, trust me. So, anyway, if you're new to our channel, which is our channel on Tuesday tags and Wednesdays, whatever, Jamming with Jimmy.
Jamming with Jimmy.
Subscribe,
Like,
comment.
share.
We'll see you next week.